There's a Cadillac being built by hand, about 2 cars a week. That costs more than $400,000. There's a workshop in California building $400,000 land yachts for heads of state and NFL owners that you have never even heard of. Both are American. And 20 years ago, the phrase American luxury was a punchline. It was the badge your grandfather drove, the rental you got stuck with at the airport. Something changed. So by the end, tell me in the comments which level you'd actually park in your garage, because the best one on this whole list is almost certainly not the one you'd guess. Level 1, the price of admission. This is the ground floor, and the ground floor moved. Your entry ticket is something like a Lincoln Nautilus from just under $54,000, or a base Cadillac in the low 50s. Quiet cabins, soft leather. The Nautilus throws a 48-inch screen across the entire dashboard, like someone bolted a movie theater to your windshield. Now here's the history nobody wants to remember. Back in the 80s, American luxury meant taking a cheap economy car, gluing some wood trim to it, charging double, and hoping you wouldn't notice. That era nearly killed these brands. That era is over. What you get today is genuinely nice, but here's the myth bust that stings. The cheap American luxury car is basically extinct. Lincoln just discontinued its smallest, most affordable model entirely. The $40,000 American luxury car you're picturing, it barely exists anymore. The floor is now the mid-50s, and it's climbing. This level is comfort. It is not soul. For soul, keep going up. Level 2, the family haulers. Level 2 is where these companies actually make their money, and it's all SUVs. Think Lincoln Aviator around $57,000 with a twin-turbo V6 making 400 horsepower. 3 rows. Cadillac's midsize stuff sits right alongside it. And more of this tier is going electric, with sedans quietly disappearing and screens quietly taking over. Here's what you're really buying. Space, silence, a captain's chair for everybody, and hands-free highway driving that steers for you on the boring stretches while you pretend you're not checking your phone. The myth is that this is the boring tier. It's not boring. It's the smart tier. This is the American luxury car that actually makes sense for a human being with a family and a commute. But nobody makes a YouTube video because their neighbor bought a comfortable 3-row SUV. So let's talk about the car that made people fall back in love with the whole idea. Level 3, the sleeper. Stop the video, this one matters. The Cadillac CT5V Black one. Just over $100,000. And I need you to understand what that $100,000 buys. A supercharged 6.2-liter V8, 668 horsepower, rear-wheel drive. And if you want it, a 6-speed manual transmission, you shift yourself. 0 to 60 in about 4 seconds flat. This is the last of a dying breed. A big American V8 in a proper luxury sedan with 3 pedals. The Germans stopped making cars like this. The Blackwing didn't. Now the myth bust. Everyone assumes the Germans own the super sedan. Here's the receipt. A BMW M5 starts around $123,000. The Blackwing undercuts it by more than 20 grand. And a lot of drivers who've tried both quietly say the Cadillac is the more engaging car. So here's the honest line most car channels won't say. For a huge chunk of you watching this, the ladder should end right here. This is the enthusiast's pick. This is the value king. Everything above this is want, not need. Which, let's be real, is exactly why you're going to keep watching. Level 4, the icon. Level 4 is the one the rest of the world already thinks of when you say American luxury. The Cadillac Escalade, the Lincoln Navigator. The Escalade starts around $94,000 and climbs from there. And at the very top sits the Escalade V, $170,000. A supercharged V8 making 682 horsepower in a truck the size of a small apartment. This is the airport pickup, the motorcade, the rap video, the thing that shows up and takes over the valet line without asking. For most of the planet, this shape, this badge, this presence is American luxury. Notice something. We just jumped from 100 grand to 170, and the car at level 3 would outhandle this one on any twisty road you can name. That's the American luxury paradox. Up here, the price stops tracking the driving and starts tracking the presence. You're not paying to go faster. You're paying to be seen arriving, and that is nothing compared to how these brands decided to reinvent themselves next. Level 5, the reinvention. Level 5 is the plot twist. American luxury got rebooted. by software companies. Start with the Tesla Model S Plaid, right around $100,000, 1,020 horsepower, 0 to 60 in under 2 seconds. A 4-door family sedan that will beat almost any supercar off the line. Then it gets more expensive and more serious. The Lucid Air Sapphire, $249,000, 1,234 horsepower from 3 electric motors, 0 to 60 in 1.89 seconds, and over 500 miles of range in its longer leg sister trims. Read that again. A luxury sedan with a back seat and a trunk, hits 60 faster than a Bugatti, then drives coast to coast. The myth is that American luxury is old-fashioned V8s and chrome. Not anymore. This tier is glass, software, and silent violence wrapped in some of the nicest interiors on the road. And both of these cars are built in the United States. This is the moment the comeback stopped being a rumor and started being a fact. But the wildest corner of American luxury isn't sold in any showroom. You have to know it even exists. Level 6, the secret world. Level 6 is a company most people have never heard of, which is exactly the point. In a workshop in Oxnard, California, a firm called Becker Automotive Design takes a Cadillac Escalade or a stretched Lincoln Navigator and rebuilds it by hand into something else entirely. The finished cars run from around $280,000 to well past $400,000. The custom work alone can cost as much as a house. They stretch the body, they raise the roof in hand-stamped steel. Inside goes Italian leather, aviation-style folding tables, a refrigerator, a giant screen behind a motorized privacy partition, and reclining massage chairs that turn the back seat into a first-class cabin. Some are armored to stop bullets. This isn't a car you drive, it's an office you get driven in, a private jet cabin that happens to have wheels and never leaves the ground. And the client list tells you everything. Heads of state, royal families, Wall Street chiefs, Hollywood, NFL team owners order them the way you'd order a coffee. This is the American luxury the ultra-wealthy actually ride in, and almost nobody outside that world has ever seen one. But every one of these starts life as a car that already existed. Becker makes an Escalade extraordinary. It doesn't build the Escalade, so what happens when an American brand builds a flagship from a completely clean sheet of paper and aims it straight at Rolls-Royce? Level 7, the flagship. Level 7 is Cadillac saying the boldest thing it has said in 50 years, out loud. In steel and carbon fiber, the Cadillac Celestiq, a little over $400,000, and there is no options list in the normal sense, because the entire car is the option. Every single one is built by hand, about 2 per week at a facility in Michigan. No 2 are alike. You don't order it off a lot. You commission it, sitting down with a designer, choosing materials the way you design a yacht, a 55-inch screen stretched across the dash, a 38-speaker sound system, a carbon fiber body, a glass roof where every passenger dials in their own tint, 400 horses, all-wheel drive, and a back seat that massages you while it does 0 to 60 in under 4 seconds. They will be about as rare as a Bugatti. Here's the myth bust that this whole video was building toward. For decades, the idea of an American car costing more than a Rolls-Royce would have gotten you laughed out of the room. But there was a time the word Cadillac literally meant the best. The Cadillac of anything meant the finest version of that thing that existed. The Celestiq is Cadillac trying to earn that phrase back, not with a slogan, with a $400,000 hand-built flagship designed to sit in the same driveway as a Rolls-Royce Ghost and not blink. This is the top of the ladder, and it is, from badge to bumper, a genuine luxury car. So let's line it all up. The airport rental, your grandfather's badge. The joke about wood trim glued onto an economy car. That was American luxury for an entire generation. Real and deserved and hard to shake. And then, quietly, it came back. Not in one car, in a whole ladder of them. A sedan at level 3 that beats the Germans for less money. A 4-door at level 5 that outdrags a Bugatti and still crosses a continent. A secret coach builder at level 6, quietly outfitting kings and team owners. And a hand-built Cadillac at level 7, chasing Rolls-Royce, trying to win back the oldest name in the business. And here's the honest answer to the question I asked at the start. The best one on this list is almost certainly not the most expensive. For most of us, the finest American luxury car made right now is that $100,000 sleeper at level 3, with the hand-built flagship at level 7 standing there as the proof of how far the comeback has come. Because the point was never the price. The point is that America remembered how. So tell me in the comments which level you'd actually park in your garage. And if you say level 3, you already get it. I break down cars and money the way they actually work. No brochure fluff. See you in the next one.